Welcome back everybody وأهلا وسهلا back to Binge بالعربي episode 4 right now, and we are talking about Cristal. We're going back a few years ago to Cristal.
Cristal was one of my favorite shows. I thought that the entire cast was very, very strong. Amazing actors. And I mentioned last episode that Qusay Khawle was like in my top 5. Mahmoud Nasir is my number 1 favorite actor because he's just very dynamic and he can really do any role. And I also watched a show with him where he did an Egyptian show and he did the dialect very well. He's my top actor. Pamela Al-Kik, amazing actress. Stephanie Atala, just the entire cast was so strong for me, and I loved it. The story, you get mad when you watch this show because a lot of little things that happen, and also things that wouldn't happen necessarily like the way we were raised here. Like I know Faye, for example, she never wanted to disobey her father to the extent where she had to sacrifice a lot of things just for his happiness. And as much as I love my dad, and I would obviously do anything to, please him and make sure he's always happy, I wouldn't give up my own happiness for that. And I know as a father, he wouldn't want me to do that either. So that's just something I couldn't relate to in that show. And I know that we're going to talk about this after, but I am Team Fay in this, and I do have my reasons behind it. There's obviously a lot of things that I don't like that a lot of characters did, but I am Team Fay for many reasons, which I know we're going to get into, but I do want to know what you guys also thought about the show just as a whole.
Yes, as a whole it was amazing. يعني كان كل الوقت فيه actions في قصص جديدة عم بتصير, stories that I don't see every day. What catched my eye was her brother. يعني ما بنشوف هيدا الشي بالوطن العربي كتير بالمسلسلات, فكتير حبيت الفكرة انه فرجونا, مع انه هو مسلسل تركي معرب, بس كانت حلوة إنه نشوفها. حلوة القصة الموجودة, فيها رسالة حلوة at the end. Of course we're gonna talk about it later. But كهول, cast, إخراج, تمثيل, كله كتابة, نص, writing, كله حلو. في كتير points فينا نحكي عنها, and أنا مني تيم فاي. نحكي أكيد بعدين بهذا الموضوع, بس no, كان كتير حلو المسلسل. I really enjoyed it, and it's one of the shows that I would watch another time. يعني مش إنه خلص بحضره مرة وما بقى أعيدها. No, برجع بعيدها, حلو كتير.
Yeah, Anna, I agree with you on that. Actually, there's a lot of good shows out there, but I think it's one of the good ones because the writing was amazing. The actors, all of them were amazing. Their connections with one another, whether it's chemistry, whether it's feeling like it's an actual family or siblings, عن جد لعبوها كتير منيح. و حتى الdesign on set, the color, the feel of it, just you can see the happiness and you can see the sadness, you can see the drama in everything. Their clothing are very well done too. يعني it's never not good enough or not beautiful enough.
كتير كانوا حلوين بساتين عالية.
I think it was trending after the show came out. No, تلبسي one earring different than the other. So عن جد they really did the everything about it. The whole every tiny aspect of the show was really well done, and we know that it's based off of a Turkish show, بس كمان it created its own presence basically. So كتير 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 حبيته. To start talking about whose team, who are we on whose team, on which side, I'll say I am Team Alia كمان.
Just before we jump into that debate, I did want to say that that was the first show I watched where there was kissing involved. Obviously, it's not like the Hollywood kissing where like there's like tongue action, but I really enjoyed it because it made me really feel the chemistry between Jawad and Faye, and also Jawad and Alia because they also kissed too, and I loved that.
أنا team Alia for so many reasons, but I want to start with Fay. The reason why I'm not team Fay is because of her. أول شي بنتعرف عليه عن Fay, she wants to be Alia from her childhood. So there is a thing of having an idol, but being obsessed with somebody and becoming exactly like them, it's not having an idea of what's inspiring you. It's more of lack of personality. يعني أنا مثلا when I was a kid, I was watching Disney TV shows, I was inspired. My personality was slightly inspired by a lot of characters that I've watched. Yeah, but I didn't become specifically somebody and embodied this person to the point where I did things that were against my values and against what I believe and against what I think and treat the people around me miserably. So that's why I'm not Team Fay. The reason why I'm Team Alia, I can understand her. I can understand that possessiveness. What's mine is mine. So, who are you to take that away from me? I worked my ass off, my butt off. I worked hard. I worked hard to get to where I am for a nobody who is entitled. You know, she wants to be me, but she's not working so hard to be me. Is taking that away from me? Why? I'm gonna be possessive. I'm gonna be possessive of my things, of my people, of my man, you know. حبيبي إذا عم تحضرني، إذا بتطلع ببنت قبرتك، وإذا بنت بتطلع فيك قبرتكم اثنيناتكم، okay? All that to say إنه I understand that. أنا بفهم إنه she came from this specific life that she became this person that she's very mean, she's very rude. I mean, she tried to kill her brother when she was a kid. That's very psychotic behavior. This challenge between the two girls, it's unnecessary for a man. I'll say that. No, at the end of the day, a man is a man. But it's the concept of أنا اشتغلت كتير to be where I am. You just started. So why do you want to steal that away from me?
Agreed on some points that you said. ما كتير حزيد لأنه في كتير قصص قلتيها أنا بوافقك عليها الرأي. بس what I wanted to add is in the beginning أنا كنت مع فاي لأنه حلو أنت كخدم powerful بالحياة لنقول أنت ستار. حلو إنه يكون في عندك فانز، يكون في عندك عالم بدها تقلدك، كيف بتعملي شعرك، كيف بتلبسي، كيف بتحكي. يعني أنا الكل بيعرف who my idol is, who I like to be. يعني مين بحب بالحياة. حلو. من أول مرة شفتك حسيت كأني إيه أنا هايفة. بس مش لأوصل لمرحلة إنه أنا أعمل المستحيل to take her life away from her. You're not only taking her work, you're taking her last name, you're taking her man, you're taking her money, you're taking you're taking everything. يعني خلصنا بقى انت فيك تحبيني، فيك تحبي تكوني مثلي وتوصلي للمحل اللي انا وصلت له، بس لازم تتعبي مثل ما انا تعبت. يعني عالية خلقت بتمها معلقة ذهب. She's rich, she's powerful, she has a lot, she has privileges. Fay doesn't. ما كل واحد لازم, you have to understand where you come from at the end of the day. Don't forget where you came from. You can't just be up there by stealing people's lives. بس we can't deny إنه Alia is not a nice person. She is not perfect. And whether she's allowed or not, that's a different story. But no, she's not perfect. But she was protective. Like as you said, you're taking my man. I must do something. Whatever what I have to do, I'm gonna do to keep my man with me. لأنه هيدا لإلي. مع إنه إذا بنجي نحنا بنفكر فيها اليوم, would you do what Alia did if that man is not even your husband yet? No.
I think it was just Alia's personality of what's mine is mine.
Some would, like probably me in my 20s, I would. And that's what makes me question it. That's the only thing. إنه أنا اليوم at 30, would I do it? No, of course not. So أنت why you're doing it? Every man in the whole world would want to be with you. You are Alia Karam. Who would say no? So انت ليش راكده تروحي لعند هيدا الزلمه؟ لا تروحي ليه؟ شو بدك فيه؟ بس خلص لانه هيدا لإلها، هيدا حبيبها من الاساس. اجت وحده صغيره اسمها فاي تاخده ليه؟
This is why I'm Team Fay, and I have a lot of points to point out because like there's a lot that happened in 90 episodes. So Faye, okay, she's like this innocent little girl, whatever. I get what you guys say, like she idolizes her, she wants to steal her life, but at the beginning of everything, she didn't want to steal her life. And when you idolize somebody, it's not necessarily a bad thing. Like there's people that like I grew up and I was like, oh my god, like this person's my idol. I hope that one day I can be just as good as them, if it was like a job or like just the person that they are. But the thing is with Faye, at the very beginning, she didn't want her life. She had her life with Aus, even though he was crazy. And, you know, she had just graduated. And like she figured that because she grew up in this household with Alia Karam, that Alia Karam would not necessarily, you know, you do have to work hard for anything in life, you know, if it's not handed to you like it was to Alia Karam. To me, I don't think she worked that hard. Okay, she went to school, she became a designer, but money talks too. She had a lot of money to get to where she was. Faye doesn't. And for somebody who, you know, like I said, grew up in the household, her father paid for her school, you would think that she would take her under her wing, like Jawad said in one of the episodes. He's like, why don't you bring her in with you? Have her work as an intern, have her learn from you. She loves you, she adores you. Had she been nice to her from the very beginning and said, oh, like, درست هيك تعي معي اشتغلي معي, I think whatever happened would have never happened. But Alia Karam is not nice. And you could tell if somebody is nice in general, it's how they treat people who can't do anything for them. And if they treat them like shit, it means they're not a good person. So she was never a good person. And also, what I want to point out, Jawad was the one running after Faye. It wasn't Faye running after Jawad. Every time she would be sitting in the jnaine, sitting by herself, he'd come down the stairs, he'd look over his shoulder and he'd be like, there's that little girl. And then he would go and talk to her. So I don't think Faye stole Jawad from Alia. I think Jawad is the problem. It's always it's always the guy, so it's not her. So if you're going to be mad at somebody, and I've always hated this also when like say like my man was like somebody was able to steal my man, please go ahead, keep him, because if you're able to steal him, I don't want him. 100%. And that is my mentality with Alia Karam. If somebody is able to steal him, let him go, because if it's not her, it's going to be somebody else. And your issue is not with Faye, your issue is with him. He's the problem, and he is who came in between them in a sense. Like they never really had a relationship, but like he's the one that was running after Faye the entire time. He's the one, he would see her like crying outside of the hospital, he would walk up to her. He didn't have to, but he did. He was chasing her. And that is my argument, that Faye was not the one chasing Jawad. Okay, she did not want her life, she just wanted to be recognized by Alia Karam. Like, take me under your wing. I'll work as an intern. I will work from the bottom up. I don't want anything handed to me, but I want to learn from the best. But she never did that for her. So that is my opinion on Faye. Now, you have to also look. Okay, so she fell for Jawad, which it's kind of hard not to fall for someone like Jawad. Hakeem, he understands her. She's with Aus, who basically has the mentality of a 13-year-old boy. And then Jawad, when he was talking to her, he was making her feel like, I can pursue what I want to pursue. Like, I can do what I want to do without Alia Karam. I don't have to be with a guy who disrespects me and is jealous and embarrasses me in front of everyone. So he made her feel the best thing that you can get out of a relationship is when somebody is trying to make you be a better person in every way, like in your career, in every way.
He's making her feel safe.
I said that in my wedding speech. I said what's more important than love for me is the feeling of being safe with someone, because it's true. So he made her feel that way. And then it's hard not to fall for him. He's a very handsome man. He's a doctor, and he like مخه هونيك, you know.
واعي. Yeah, واعي.
So then I got really turned off by Alia Karam when she was doing all these little things like, oh, you have to go with us or else I'm going to tell your dad that your sister's pregnant and all these things. Like, شو هالهبل? Like, if you're Alia Karam, like up here, who the hell are you to be playing these little games to get this man away? Like, if you're Alia Karam, walk away, find someone else because you can. I get it when you're in love, but you're not together. The guy came back, he spent a night with you, say it nicely, he spent a night with you, but there was never a title. You guys were never together. You had to basically force him on a stage and kiss him on the cheek in front of everyone just because he was seen with Faye at a nightclub. Like that to me, like you're being a child, like a child. Yeah. And we spoke about this earlier. She's in her 30s. She's not in her 20s. And there's two things that Faye did that really annoyed me. And that's why I was like, I lost respect for her. Number one is when she married Basil and used him, especially a man in his condition. But then again, you understand why. لأنه هن كانوا سبب بموت بيا. And like that is the whether you like and she knows, and whether you like to admit this or not, they knew he had a heart condition and a heart problem, and you go and you say that your daughter's pregnant, his daughter's pregnant, obviously they're the ones.
Then again, sorry to cut you off here, but then again, شو خص باسل؟
It was just a smart move. تقدر تصير هي ايه في كرم مثل عليا كرم.
تتصير كرم تتصير مسارة عالية. She became Alia when she did that. It's and that's where حتى Basil when she won and she got married to him and she was in her room and she was talking to him, he told her, he's like, عم تحكي مثل عالية. And then she switched up and she's like, what? No. Like she realized that no, you are becoming her. You're becoming the person that you hate.
Which, like I said, that's something that I lost respect for, like the character when she did that. The other thing I didn't like was how she made Jawad feel like he was the one responsible for her father's death for a very long time. حسسته انه من وراه لانه عيط عليه اجى بالقلب. And it wasn't. And me, those are the two things that really pissed me off. But at the same time, you have to remember, she comes from nothing. She's treated like a peasant. She's accused of stealing a man who basically was chasing her. And you know what? She really, truly did love him.
أنا بحبك كتير.
أنا كمان بحبك كتير.
She did fall for him. It's not like she was doing it out of spite to steal him from Alia, because if that was the case, her revenge wouldn't have been to marry Basil. It would have been to marry Jawad.
مين ما رح يحب جواد؟ ما أنت قلتيها.
ما عم بضحك عليكي، أنا عم بضحك على قصصك بس.
I think so. Like, yeah, so she was accused of stealing him. She was treated very poorly. She basically got pregnant with him and was treated terribly to the point where she almost lost the baby. And then when she did lose the baby, which, by the way, that scene, I cried so much when she's like rah rah and she's like yelling and hitting Jawad. Like that was such an emotional and powerful scene from her. So basically you lost every single thing, every single hope. You couldn't even get a job interview with anybody because she was ruining it for you. She was ruining your image in front of Jawad when she set up that guy to make it look like they were together. So when you're taking hit after hit after hit after hit, at the end of it, I'm going to be like, screw you, Jawad, screw you, Alia. I'm going to think of me and my money and my name. And that's why I am Team Fay, because she basically became that selfish person that she should have been from the beginning when they were all treating her like that.
Who won?
For me, who won was probably Alia. And I'll admit that, but I still wasn't. But look what it took to humble her. It took Fay. You know what? The show is called Cristal. As much as you try to put the pieces back together, it's not going to be the same. This guy screwed everything up whenever he basically said, when she says to him, طلع بعيوني شو اللي شو بتشوف, and he's like, ولا شيء.
ونحن
نحن ما عاد في شيء اسمه نحن، خلص نحن بح.
I almost broke the TV.
هيك بكون عم ردلك كل شيء عملتي فيني.
مني مع فاي. ما I don't like Faye. بس you can't say that to a woman. من بعد هيك ليلة ما فيك شو.
بعد ما هي اللي عملته. طب you're gonna have to anticipate that from a man no matter what.
انت تنتقم مني وانت اللي كنت اصلا عم تركض وراي من الاول.
طب he's the sweetheart, he's the nice guy, he's the one that انه يلي عم بيركض وراها. بس he realized انه طب ما انا I fell in love with a girl that changed herself into a girl that maybe بلكي جواد ما كان مع عليا كرم 100% لأنه he knows what she is and he doesn't like that. فتيكون مع Faye and he fell for Faye because she's the complete opposite of Alia. And then she switched up. So he's like, well, you switched up. أنا ما ححب هيك.
When he came back after the 3 months, and then he goes to her house, and the house in the Hara, not the house where Alia, yeah. And he was like pretending, he's like, أنا بجيت أقلك أنا اشتقت لك this and that. And then he has that evil smile on his face. He's like, you see how easy it is?
تعرفي شو المشكلة؟ المشكلة إنه أنا ماني مثلك. قد ما مثلت رح يبين علي، بس انتي ضليتي شهور والشهور عم تستخدمي هذا الاسلوب معي، كل مرة بتشوفيني فيها وتستعطفيني وانا مثل الاهبل صدقك
And she was about to tell him like, I miss you too, I'm pregnant with your baby, but he made it hard on her. So that's another hit that she took, guys. Like, come on.
حاولت انساكي، تركت البلد وبعدت، انتي كنتي معي بكل لحظة.
Like, haram, like she gets pregnant.
No haram.
We all know that he loves her, pretends that he doesn't love her, and then tries to get her back after she loses the baby. Like, who are you? If somebody kept hurting me like that, if I went through something traumatic like losing a child and having the worst pregnancy of life because of this guy that I fell for, I would be like, I'm closing the door on every single person in my life, and I'm just gonna think about myself and my career. I don't want love, I don't want friendship, I don't want nothing. I just want me and my career because everybody backstabbed me and hurt me. I think Jawad is the shittiest guy because he was the one chasing, and you have 2 girls chasing this guy, or because Faye was never chasing him. But like, also you have to remember too that when her and Jawad actually started dating, he was still talking to Alia like it was no big deal. There's no talking to your ex, somebody that it clearly is known that she's still into you, and you're still talking to her and you're defending it. That's not right either. He was the main problem, and then I think everybody got what they deserved. I think it took Faye to humble Alia, and then I think Jawad had to lose both, and I think Faye, you deserve to be on your own and like lose everyone because of how you became. And he says something to her in the show when they got stuck, when they went on the motorcycle. He says to her, أنا بحب العالم اللي الدنيا ما وسختون. Yeah, so like he's trying to say like, I love you because you're pure and this evil world didn't ruin you. But that's exactly what happened to her, and he was one of the evil people that ruined her. And it's not about winning. It's just about proving my point. There's a lot of people that are not going to agree with me.
There's a lot of people that are not going to agree with us.
Eva, my niece, is 14 now. She's Team Alia. My brother, her dad, Team Alia. I think I am the minority, and that's why I don't think a lot of people are going to agree with me. They're probably going to watch this and be like, add more points to prove me wrong. But you can't prove me wrong, guys. Like, I believe in what I believe. And I think that when you take a lot of hits in life from the same people, you just got to close the door on all of these people and just think about yourself.
And I think it's a good thing. صراحة. It's a good way to see the story. Faye of Faye. يعني إذا بدنا نحكي كفاي إنه إيه حرام أكلت بوكسات كتير وخلص قررت تصير هي الحية. خلينا نحكيها هيك من الآخر. بس عالية هي already خلقانة حي.
Well, yeah, what she did to her brother when he was a baby.
Okay.
طب he became with neurological problems because she suffocated him.
أنا أعطيني مصاري، أعطيني هالقد جمال، أعطيني هالقد باور، وخلي حدا يجي يجرب يكون أنا، شو بدي أعمل فيه؟ ما رح خليه. ما فيكي تجي تشتغلي معي إذا أنا ما بدي. ليه بدي شغلك؟ طب ما أنا إذا بدي أجي شغلك، إذا أنا شايفة إنه أنت competition معي وشايفة إنه شغلك كتير واو وعجبني شغلك، لأنه to be honest her work was good. Faye's work was good. طب مع عالية, why didn't she even take her? Why wasn't she nice to her? Not necessarily because she's that mean. It's because she could be jealous, and that's fine. You can't have someone working with you if they're as good as you. They're gonna take your spot, and you wouldn't want that. So she is protecting herself from anything. And her revenge styles, يعني the way she killed her dad, was mean. I know it was mean. It's just what she had to do. Come on, just like you took Faye's side because it was what she had to do at the end. كمان Alia, it was what she had to do. What else can she do? Even if she is عالية وهي ما لازم حدا يزعجها أو هي فيها تنقي حالها لشاب بدها إياه، وليش هي بدها جواد. خلص هي بدها جواد حدا قاله معها شي؟ ما حدا قاله معها. بالآخر هي خسرت كل شي عادي وكفت حياتها عادي، لأنه they all took what they deserve. خلص انت عيشي لحالك وانت طلعي فلة ما إلك شي، خسرتي كل شي، وانت روح فلة من البلد كله، أصلا ما كانش لازم ترجع.
And you know what was really sad too that Alia used to do was whenever Faye would be like, he's not ready to hear this news. He's not ready to know that I'm with Joat, this and that. Alia didn't care. ما بتفرق معها. She still said it. And look what happened. He lost his mind, almost killed him, and then killed himself. She's very inconsiderate towards her own brother. So that's why I feel like Alia Karam got what she deserved in the end, even though it was harsh, because somebody had to humble her.
كتير كانت بلا قلب at one point. مع خيا كتير بلا قلب.
All those three were shitty in their own way, and they got what they deserved, and everybody lost. And that's why the doctor tells him, one of his friend doctor at one of the party, he's like, "Into كلكم رح تخسروا." And that's what happened. And I love that because it's not always a happy ending. As much as I wanted them to get back together, but I was turned off by all of them at that point. I was like, I hope you guys all go your separate ways. And that's exactly what happened.
بس كريستال فرطت، ما فيكي بقى ترجعي تعملي شيء. لا كانت كتير حلوة القصة.
Yeah, I agree with all of your points. I'm very happy that all of them got what they deserved. يعني like I said, Alia was very mean, cruel person, psycho.
ولا لا ارجع ربيكي مرة تانية يا في، أنا رح ربيكي على إيدي.
Favorite part, psycho.
Faye became a psycho.
What is that one scene that really caught your attention in this show? Because I ask it every show.
لا أنت عن جد مفكرة حالك فيك تصيري عليا كرم بيوم من الأيام؟ عن جد؟ بدي أعطيك إياها هيدي السين.
يعني أنت عن جد كنت مصدقة إنك رح تصيري عليا كرم شي نهار؟ أنا يعني أنت.
Very powerful scene, يعني, but it's not the one that shocked me the most. It was Faye. It was that Faye marrying Basil.
ليش هيك عملتي بحالك؟ ليش هيك عملتي فينا؟
أنا لحقت قلبي.
شو؟ لحقتي قلبك؟
To me, هيدا اللي عملت لي the biggest shock إنه you went from an innocent woman, from a sweet, lovely woman, to destroying your friendship and abusing this sweet man. هيدا the one that I'm like, oh shit.
It's hard to pick one. There's two and they're both... Okay, you know what? I'll pick one. Instead of two. It's, to me, is what made me fall in love with his acting. It's the one where he finds out basically everything. It was after he spoke to the mom, to Alia and Faye. And Faye's going to talk to him at the hotel, and he says to her, and he's like, أنا كنت فرستك يا غبية. And like, he just yelling at her and his tears.
منقلك اطلعي فيني.
هيدا كانت فرصتي الوحيدة لأنتقم منه.
وكانت فرصتك يا غبية. أنا كنت فرصتك يا هبلة. أنا كنت فرصتك.
And he's like, because she's like, it was the only way I can get revenge. And he's like, I was your only way to get revenge. And then he's on his knees and he's like crying. I was like, what an amazing actor. Like, I felt him. I felt his pain. And I was very happy that it won Best Series because I thought that it was a great series, a very strong cast. And yeah.
Now, enough of us talking about what we think. Let us know what you think about the show in total. Which team are you on, Faye or Alia? وأكيد انطرونا بالحلقة الجاية. رح نحكي كمان عن مسلسلات جديدة وفي هيك شوي سوربرايز كمان بدنا نقدم لكم إياها. So انطرونا ونحن ناطرينكم ومنشوفكم. وأكيد don't forget to like, subscribe, follow, comment, anything.